Hello, and welcome to the Godplane, Episode 1, What Dreams May Call. Rook, Nabi, Ozum, Willie. You each brace and ready yourselves for what's about to come. But the world instead goes black. A thick mist fills your nose, floods your lungs and your senses, engulfs all of you. Cold shoots through your body, and with a sudden sharp movement, you don't fall, but your stomach drops all the same. You blink, and you each find yourself in an open, gray expanse. 3 strangers stand before you. You all face inward. Willie, you let loose the sprocket in your hand, which bounces harmlessly off the shield of a half-orc. Rook, you're standing braced, your shield ready for an attack. But what you're fighting never charges. Nabi, you duck beneath a fist that no longer comes at you, lashing out into empty air with a sweeping low kick. And Ozum, you lunge forward, ready to grab the assailant who is no longer there. And you nearly trample over the body of a woman. She's lying unconscious on the floor before you, bloody, half on her back with one arm extended over her head. What do you do? Give me apologies. Apparently chat can't hear you. Let me we're doing it live, y'all. Give me just a moment. Can someone else speak just to let me know if appreciate y'all. I'm so sorry, y'all. I built it all up only to have this. Cannot hear Rook. Okay, so I think I know what's happening here. And I think I may know how to fix it quickly, but will y'all say a thing?
Mic check, 1, 2, 2. Test, mic check.
Mic check.
Stuff is being said.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. Back on track. You all find yourselves, adrenaline coursing through your bodies, in a completely different location, all facing inward, staring at 3 strangers and an unconscious, possibly dead woman bleeding at your feet.
I'm going to peek around the nearest person, like knee height, and just be like, okay, what is that? Who are you? Where are we?
You all see this little gnome's mouth moving, and you hear words, but you don't understand her. Except, Ozum, you have a weird sense. This gnome is saying something you kind of almost understand. It's like knowing Spanish, but hearing Portuguese being spoken.
Fair. And this is coming from the gnome?
Mm-hmm.
Ozum's just probably gonna look at the gnome a little flabbergasted and shake his head a little bit. I don't think he's gonna say anything. I think he's just gonna stare at the gnome quite blankly.
I'm gonna stare at somebody else and go, hello? Does nobody see this?
Rook has a passive insight of 14. Can I interpret the intentions of the 3 strangers? Do they seem like hostile intent towards us, or do they seem like...
Everyone is tense. Everyone is in an aggressive stance, but you all seem confused. You all are definitely on edge, but is it to each... Is one person attacking another person? It's a little hard to tell.
Okay. If no one else is moving to attack, and this is the first time Rook has seen these people, correct? All right, then Rook will be the first to like let down his guard, to try to put like his shield sort of away, but have his weapon in hand, and slowly, to kind of look to each other, especially if he sees the gnome trying to speak and the words aren't being comprehended. Then he'll try to assess the situation.
Navi's just focused on the woman that's maybe dead. She's not really a stranger to bloody situations. So she's like more nervous about the other characters that are around her, but trying to assess with her eyes whether or not that woman needs actual help.
So, especially with your background, you can pretty quickly see that this woman is breathing, albeit slowly. And while she is bleeding, it's not from a traditional wound. 4 tattoos cover her body. Correction. Tattoos cover all of her body. 4 tattoos down her side are freshly bleeding. She lays a moment longer and then starts to stir and slowly pulls herself to one elbow. And she starts to speak. And once again, you hear words, but you don't understand them.
The panic that Ozum was feeling has like a bit of a spike, and then once the woman starts speaking, it's slowly coming down. But his heart is still racing, and he's having a hard time breathing.
She frowns and looks at each of you and says something again, and you can tell she's wounded, but she's impatient. She says something once again.
Rook will cast Detect Good and Evil to see, for the duration, if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of myself.
So, you found yourself in a large gray space. The walls all around you are made of a shifting mist. Everything here is a strange middle gray, neither shiny nor textured. And at the edges is a dome of mist that swirls. The woman before you, while not celestial, has been touched. You can feel that coming off of her. And even though the mists are beyond the range of this spell, you, with your background, you have a feel for these kinds of things. And it's a distant whisper, but you feel that there are strange, evil things all around you in the mist. The woman sits up, says, She brings her hand in, and a white mist coalesces in her hand before it shoots out and pulses through each of you. And she says, that should solve the communication problem.
What did you do? Where are we? What is this?
She holds up a hand and says, you have questions. That is fair. And all will be answered in time. I am Vassal, the voice and final champion of the Dreaming God. Each of you were chosen and summoned here to the Godplane, the space between dreams and worlds, because the Dreaming God needs your help. And there's a pause, and a definite look of dissatisfaction touches her face as she says, I need your help. I need you to help me slay a god. And with that, Welcome to the Godplane. This is an original 5e horror campaign. I'm your DM, Kay Purcell, and before we begin, I would like to warn you all about some of the content you're going to find in this adventure. This is a horror campaign, and that means there will be some elements which viewers may find disturbing. I've worked with our incredible cast here, and I know there are lines and boundaries, and we have a system in place where we can quickly nope an ejector seat out of a situation if it becomes too much for anyone. But with that said, please approach the stream with caution and take care of your own mental health. Take a break if you need to. So now that we've gotten through that first bit of chaos, I would like to introduce you all to our amazing cast. Let's go around and introduce yourselves. Please tell us who you are, your pronouns, and where we can find you on social. So let's start with Sophie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophie. I am the community director at an indie studio called Donkey Crew. My pronouns are she, her, but the character that I'm playing, Ozim, is he, him, and he is a barbarian with quite a bit of baggage. If you've seen me in a one-shot that we broadcasted before, this is a very different take on that Ozim. Still the same guy, but I'm very upset that Kay made me write the backstory that I had to write for him.
I didn't make you, you chose.
I did, but it hurts.
And what's your social?
At Subatomic Mints, which I think is shown on the screen, is my Twitter.
Perfect.
Find me there. And you can I also go by Gladiator. If you see me pop into chat as _so_Gladiator, that is my gamer tag, and my Twitch handle. So
awesome. Cassandra, you're up. This is why I invited this woman.
I am that name. I am Cassandra. You can find me as Cozy Spoon on all socials. And I'm playing a lady gnome by the name of Wilhelmina Waywacket, but she prefers Willy. And I think that's it.
And D'Angelo.
Hey everyone, my name is D'Angelo Murillo, and I'm a tabletop RPG performer. I fight with all my heart and soul to bring more inclusivity and diversity to our geek community through organizing events and writing articles and all sorts of good stuff. Amateur game designer, as I'm coming out with a game called Emerald Templars coming soon. And tonight I'll be playing Rook. His real name is Ricardo Valencia, but he goes by Rook. And he is an orc paladin. He's pretty
Half
young. I don't know his full orc, but actually, but yeah. So
I need to update my sheet.
You never go half orc.
Oh, full orc, yeah, there you go. And yeah, so he's in like green dented gear and all that kind of stuff. His shield has a beautiful unicorn on it and everything, so it's super dope. And I'm ready to be angsty, so it's good.
And
I didn't say the race. Ozim's the tiefling. He's a big boy. He's like 7'5", total beefcake. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, forgot.
And last but not least, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen Mack. You can find me pretty much anywhere. I'm the Global Director of Partnerships for Women in Games International. I'm also a talent manager for Tires TV, and I also love doing things like this for funsies on the side. You can find me at Jen Geeky on Twitter, or pretty much Jen Mack the Geeky Writer everywhere else. And I'm playing Nabi, who, for those who don't know, it means butterfly in Korean, and she's a Way of the Mercy monk, and she wears a butterfly mask, and her colors are like purple and black based off of the purple emperor butterfly. And she has a pretty tragic backstory that we were discussing earlier, makes her feel like she's the main character of every story. So yeah, that's about it. She's just a human, kind of boring. I mean, nothing special.
Not boring. So that is our amazing crew. We'd also like to give a big thank you to Gaming Trend and to Bardly.io for the music that we're listening to, which, I forgot to. Look at me, DMing. Forgot to switch over our music to the... Here we go. Our main theme, which was written by Ghost Stories Incorporated. Wonderful music. Thank you, Ghost Stories. And thank you to our amazing mods for keeping the chat going. Ghost Swords, we love you. We are looking for sponsors for this stream, so if you're a company and you'd like to sponsor the stream, we'd love to have you. Please reach out. We do have a tip link for our amazing cast, which should hopefully show up in there. Let's see if it's going to behave. There we go. 100% of the proceeds that are donated will go directly to our players to thank them for our wonderful. I'm saying wonderful a lot, for being amazing and giving us their time and entertaining us. As I said before, I'm Kate Purcell. I'm your DM. My pronouns are she, her, and the best place to find me is at KDamFear on Twitter. I'd also like to thank David Lee, aka Full Rubber Ducky, who is my co-DM, who helped me put this whole campaign together, and who may be working in chat to pull together a few surprises for our adventurers as we go. We'll see. And with that, we're going to jump back into our game. Rook. We step back in time just a few moments. Our story begins in a forest, unnaturally dense and alive with fey magic. The scent of damp earth, moss, and forest life is thick in your nostrils. But despite this beauty, Rook, you can feel that this forest hates you. It shrinks from you. But that's old news, and it doesn't matter, because after days of stalking your prey, you finally cornered the beast. The massive fey boar stands before you, pawing at the earth. It's almost glowing white, with blue and white mushrooms sprouting from its bristly mane. The town has placed a bounty on it, and it's allegedly gored some people, but you suspect that's just an excuse to get rid of something unnatural. But it doesn't matter to you that it's a forest guardian. A bounty's a bounty. You've already exchanged a few blows with this beast, and it's starting to show some damage. You've escaped with little more than a few scrapes. The boar turns, its hooves digging deep gouges in the soft forest floor. Flowers and vines and shrubs immediately sprout from where its hooves scrape the earth. What does the boar see as it lowers its head, preparing to charge at Rook?
He'll see Rook in all of his regalia, like his suit and everything like that, battered and dented. His blood, he's in total battle stance and everything. As he stands there, and he'll take a moment to cast Speak with Animals on the actual Forest Guardian, and simply be like, I'm pretty sure we're at the end of our little engagement here. Any last words before I send you to the next life? As he just poises his halberd.
The boar grunts low, and you kind of understand it through your spell, but you also kind of understand it simply because this is a magical beast, and it wants to communicate with you. It lets out a shrill squeal as it charges at you, and in your mind you hear, "You have betrayed us. You have betrayed her." You raise your shield, bracing for its impact as it bears down on you, and the world goes black. We turn our attention to some place far, endlessly far away. Nabi. You can taste the grit of the road on your tongue as you trek away from Shishang. The sun is heavy, and the wind blasts impatiently against your skin as the heat of the hard-packed earth tries to burn its way through the soles of your shoes. It was a long trip, but worth it. You obtained a scroll full of new information regarding a meditation ritual unique to this area. Hot, dry gusts of wind fill your ears, and the deafening sound of sand ricocheting off your mask as you wrestle with your map, trying to study your options. Make a perception check.
Wow. Okay. Eight.
You come upon a crossroads full of large, wind-beaten rocks that rise above you and cast long shadows. You're studying your map, trying to decide where to head next, when one of those shadows separates, and then another, and then another. 2 humans, a half-orc, a goblin, and a half-elf emerge. You'd assume they were bandits, but their gear is far too well cared for. Mercenaries, then. What do they see as they approach Nabi?
So Nabi's got, she has a butterfly mask covering most of her face that she can see through. She's probably like head down looking at her map, kind of sensing through her peripheral that they're coming at her, or at least around her, and she's got a hood kind of like over her, a black kind of cloak covering up like a purple kind of gi kind of thing that she's wearing. She's not super tall. She's probably about 5'4", 5'5", maybe, which she tells people because she's really like 5'4" and a half. And she's just a very, very, very still, kind of really trying to sense her surroundings.
So a surprisingly thickly built half-elf, who appears to be the ringleader of this group, steps forward. I got some bad news, girlie. That healing ritual you taught old man Gresson, it don't do shit. We've been sent to collect. He puts his hand meaningfully on his sword. Either you or the scroll. So you gonna make this easy, or are we gonna have to rough you up and take it?
Have I ever made anything easy?
He snorts. Exchanges a look with his crew. And they all move on you at once. A fist is aimed for your head as the goblin turns around to go to your back, and the world goes black. Time and space blur, whirling as we turn our gaze to yet another figure on yet another road. Ozum, you walk through the falling darkness, wine warm in your belly and wind cool against your skin. Dusk has just swept its dark cloak around the horizon. The soft song of night insects fills your ears. The breeze carries a faint scent of spring flowers. For once you feel rather peaceful. Make a perception check.
"20, not nat."
You hear footsteps behind you. Without even turning, you know there's 3 men. They're dark shapes against the horizon. Their hoods are up. Their heads are down. What do they see as they follow Ozum into the descending darkness?
They'll notice his shoulders start to tense. Like, the muscles in his back are... You can tell that he's getting a little more on edge with every step that he takes. He's getting a little annoyed because he was feeling pretty good. This was the first time in a while that he's felt somewhat okay. And he was hoping that it was going to stay that way. But I guess it's not.
You continue along, acutely aware of where they are behind you. Do they cling to the shadows, moving quietly, or is that just your imagination? You're pretty sure that their heads are down, but their eyes are on you. One coughs, then glances at you. His hand vanishes into the folds of his cloak. What does Ozum do?
He also grabs the dagger that he has strapped to his side and is ready to throw it. Without any moment of hesitation, he will throw it.
One of them makes a sudden move for you. But once again, the world goes black. Willie, barrels and crates rattle as a wagon bumps along the hard-packed dirt road. You're seated uncomfortably, sandwiched between and half hidden among the supplies, as the events of the day play through your mind. It's all so fresh, and it's all so overwhelming. The declaration of war, your father's ultimatum, the letter from your friend begging for your aid. Even now, you can feel the phantom weight of the sprocket in your palm, the heat it emitted as it chose you. When it, too, started making demands of you. Just like your father, just like your country, just like your friend. You're started out of your thoughts as Lars, a dragonborn fighter whose adventuring party you joined, raps on loudly at a crate at the back of the cart. Should be in the clear, Willie, he says as he walks behind the cart, a toothy grin on his red-scaled face. It was his idea to hide you in the back of the cart and smuggle you out of the city so your dad wouldn't notice. You're about to start your first adventure. At last! What does Lars see as he looks at Willie?
Peek out from under the tarp, look around, and tell him this hiding place was super stupid.
What does she look like? Tell us about Willie.
She is a little half pint. She's got dreads that she's put up in a little half hipster bun. And she's just wearing a horrendously garish hot pink and lime green outfit because she thought it was stealth.
You want to take one last look at the place? He asks as he thumbs over his shoulder at the city, the only home you've known, as it recedes into the distance.
I need to see that stuff. It's like, I am done with that. I am done with this. And I go and grab my stupid sprocket and I chuck it in the direction of the town. I'm like, I'm ready for a new life. I'm just done with the dad thing.
And no sooner do you throw that sprocket than the world goes black. You all find yourselves back in the present. A few minutes have passed, enough time for you to have oriented yourselves to the new space and pieced together what happened before you were all summoned to the Godplane. You look around, taking in this new location. As I said before, the ground is strangely featureless. It's not smooth, it's not textured, and thick walls of mist swirl restless and ever-moving in the distance, about 60 feet in all directions. Everything is blank, gray, featureless. The air is neither fresh nor stale. Vesal has recovered remarkably quickly once she got to her feet, and she now stands with her eyes closed, palms up in a meditation. She is quite tall, just shy of 6 feet, with long, lean limbs, the powerful build of a swimmer or a runner, with compact muscles. Her head is shaved, her skin is dark, and it is covered, head to toe, across her face, every inch, with tattoos. She's dressed in billowing harem pants that are sheer enough to show hints of tattoos beneath, and a silver trinket in the shape of a butterfly made of mists is pinned to her waistband. She wears a loose, cropped sleeveless shirt that reveals more tattoos across her arms and torso. Her bleeding is now stopped, and as Nabi noticed before, it originated not from a wound, but from 4 fresh tattoos. Give me just a moment while I do this for our viewers. There we are. Ozum, you feel a disturbing bond to a symbol on the inside of her arm of 2 horns, one broken and oozing a black-purple mist. Willie, you recognize the shape of the sprocket tattooed across the ribs of her chest. Nabi, you're drawn to a symbol slightly on her backside of her torso of an unfurled scroll, the ink on the page lifting off to become a butterfly. And Rook, you feel an overwhelming shame as your eyes fall upon a symbol of a blind unicorn, its horn broken, black mist leaking from its horn and mane. All 4 of these symbols are linked by a swirling lines of gray which shimmer magically. At last, Vesal opens her eyes, which are dark, clear, and contain more than a hint of dislike as her gaze sets on each of you. You have questions? Ask them.
Look around just to see if any of the tall people are going to say anything first. Seeing that they're not, step forward and go, "What's the big idea? Where am I? What is this? What'd you take time out to get your tattoos going on and then call us?"
Ozum crosses his arms and lets out a huff as he watches Willie take a step forward towards this woman. It's just like,
Rook will. I rolled an extra 20 for religion to understand that was a sleeping god. Was that she mentioned? And try to get any sort of reference of what it might be.
So, especially being here, Rook, you have a very strange feeling that you know the dreaming god without knowing what this dreaming god is. You've never heard of it, and yet somehow you know that there is a dreaming god and that it wanted you here. It's a very strange feeling. Visal kind of looks at you, Willie, and says, "You run from so much, and yet you'll stand to me. I did not choose you here. The dreaming god, Ayuith, chose you and brought you here. I would rather die alongside others."
Hold up. So you're saying I'm dreaming?
The world, as you all know it, is not real. You, me, every place, and everyone that you know exists inside the eye of the dreaming god. There is a force which has gathered power quietly over the eons. A nightmare which feels a prisoner in this place and wishes to wake the god, to break themselves free of what they see as eternal torment. If that nightmare succeeds, we will all cease to exist.
As Lasal is explaining all this, my hand is slowly going to my shoulder to pinch myself just to make sure this is legit.
Ozim notably winces whenever the word dreams or nightmare is said. And then people may or may not notice it if they wanted to see if they do, but the hand that he had on his dagger from previously, he is going to just run his thumb along it just a bit. They may not notice that he's bleeding a little, but he's just going to keep doing that.
And Willie, your pinch definitely hurts. Nabi, roll me a perception check.
$17. Oh, 19, I mean, sorry.
Everyone's talking. You're a very perceptive individual, and you've got your guard up. The mists are moving in a strange way. And you glance over, and near the ground, you swear you see two pink eyes blink at you from the mist, and then vanish.
What was that?
What was what?
Did you not see there were eyeballs staring at us from over there, and now they're gone.
Okay.
Something tells
Eyeballs on the
me
ground?
something tells me we need to be very, very on guard here.
This place is full of monsters, full of demons. The mists make them more powerful, and no sooner does she say that than you hear a roar. A massive sound shakes the very ground around you, and a head emerges from the mist, leaping in one giant arc, wings beating once before landing directly behind Visal. She turns just in time to have a huge scaled head with back-turned horns slam into her, throwing her across the ground, leaving her rolling like a rag doll. This beast stands 6 feet at the shoulders, but another 10 feet of neck rises before a head stares down at you. White scales glisten beneath black mist, which roils and ripples off of this body. I need you all to roll initiative as a shadow dragon lunges at you.
Navi just looks at everybody and goes, "Told ya."
For the record, this does not match the eyes that you saw.
I got a 14 to initiative.
Okay.
I got 22.
Did anyone roll higher than a 22?
No, 19.
Okay.
And while this is happening, Ozum takes his thumb, sticks it in his mouth, and starts, and in the same hand is just kind of reaching towards his back to grab for his great axe. He hasn't grabbed it yet, but he's ready.
How you doing, Cozy? You're on mute, by the way.
I'm rolling, but I do not see the result.
Do you... Let's see. Do you want me to just do a roll for you? Why is...
I can totally math.
No problem. Now I have to find you all again because I switched to another tab. Okay, so we have Nabi first with 22. Then it was Ozum. Then we had... Rook, I think... No. What was yours, Rook?
Mine was 15.
15?
Or
Cozy?
14, rather. Yeah.
14. Cozy, what did you say you had? I'm sorry. A lot of numbers in my brain.
She had 16.
16, thank you.
What he said.
And 10. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 18 is, and then okay. So Nabi, you are up first. Vasal is down on the ground and out for this first round. What do you do?
She's gonna pull out her spear, and she's just gonna, like, chuck it at this dragon's head.
Okay, roll. Give me a roll to hit.
7.
Oh,
more like
buddy. Oh, buddy. It sails right past, swallowed into the mist. Oh, it doesn't swallow into the mist. This came close, so it sticks into the ground just a little bit past.
Okay, she's what's the thing? She's gonna spend a key point to
Okay.
run up and try to punch it.
Okay.
Twice. Try to punch it twice. 22.
22 hits.
For 4 damage.
Okay.
And then her other punch is gonna come around for 20. What is with my rolls? I don't roll this high ever.
It's being very kind to you.
What is happening?
Powered by
for-
terror.
Another 4 damage.
Awesome.
And then if she has any movement left, can she grab her spear?
So if
no?
you do grab the spear, you're probably gonna, this is a big creature, it has some range, so you're probably gonna have to move out of it and take an opportunity attack if you want to
Okay,
go grab
then
the
she's
spear.
gonna wait.
Do you want to stay like facing it, or do you want to circle around to a side?
She's gonna circle around to a side though.
Okay, no problem. So we're gonna say off to the left.
Yeah. Okay.
And then next up, Ozum. You look down at it, look up, because this is actually something bigger than you.
For once.
White scales that leak black purple mist. An angry black smoke comes from its mouth.
Ozum kind of rolls his eyes a little at the mist and sighs. He lets out just a big, heavy sigh. He pulls his axe off his back and he, like, stands there and thinks for a second. Sighs again. grips it with both hands and goes to make an attack.
This big drama boy.
He doesn't feel like it.
Tell me what he does.
He'll go to attack. Probably, you said the dragon's 6 foot at the shoulder.
6 foot at the shoulder.
Right, he's gonna go for the base of the neck.
Do
Of
it.
course, because he can.
Roll me to hit.
He's high enough to do it. He's 7'5". He's got plenty of clearance. All right. And that's the roll to see if he hits. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. 17.
17 is exactly what you needed. So roll me your damage.
All right.
$12. Excellent. Anything else? Do it. $18 hits, yes. Okay. Why did this die? 9 for damage. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. I am troubleshooting here as well, so if I'm a little scattered, that is why. Willie. I'm working on it. I think I know what happened. Sorry, y'all. Doing it live. See if that works.
Hello. Can you hear us now?
I feel like there's a double volume now, though. Oh, thank you. Right, wrong, right? Is it double voice still?
It's echo, yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can fix the echo.
Not for you, but for the players, I think.
Yeah.
I think at least. Yeah,
Yes,
double
the
sound.
mist is definitely interrupting the audio. Still double sound. I don't know how to beat the double sound. Doing it live, y'all. It's a good time.
Wouldn't be a stream without technical difficulties.
Okay. On the off chance, did that fix anything?
Hello.
Words and stuff.
I swear I will start the karaoke at any time.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Okay. I think I know why my audio. That should fix my audio, maybe.
No, it
You made it worse.
Okay. I don't know what's causing a little bit of a double audio. Maybe.
Oh, you're fixed.
Yeah, I know
Can
I
you hear
fixed
us?
me. I think I don't know how to fix the double audio. It's killing me. It's killing me.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
The real horror was the technical difficulties we had along
Really?
True.
Really? We're trying to fight a dragon here. Y'all are level 5 fighting a dragon, and I've got double audio.
What says it was fixed? Maybe? Question mark?
Maybe? I mean, I'm not seeing commentary, so I'm hoping.
How much did they
Oh,
hear?
thank you, Sarah. Okay. People are saying it seems fine now. So I'm hoping we're gonna keep going. Ozum smacked it with an axe a couple times. Did some good heckin' damage because he's a big beefy boy, and that's
He
what
didn't
the
want
beefy
to.
boys do.
He didn't want to do it.
But he did. And now it is Willie's turn.
I'm literally just dancing on the balls of my feet and have my hands on my head going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Just watching people hack and slash this thing and going, okay, this is an actual adventure. Remember your fanfics. You can do this.
I love everyone at this bar. What you gonna do, Willie?
Okay. I can't hit that thing because it's really big. I'm gonna try to blind and or definite, in
Ooh.
hopes that it'll help the people that are actually doing the meat shield stuff. Protect me.
And I believe that is a saving throw for my dragon. I'm going to
Yes?
peek. Do you know what that... I need the spell save and the type. Let's see.
Yeah, it says make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, and what's the DC? Is there a number there?
One
Let me
action.
step it.
30
14.
V 14. There, I was gonna get it.
You got there. I'm so proud of you. Okay. Unfortunately, dragon rolls a nat 20. So you pop up and how do you cast your magic? What does your magic look like?
It looks really lame. I go and hope that it gets it.
And this dragon sees the movement and it spins its head around and goes
Okay.
and then it's nothing happens. And it looks a little confused and maybe a little insulted.
I hide behind Ozum because it's the biggest person here.
Are you that close to me? I don't think you're that close to me.
Am I that close to them?
We're doing theater of the mind, so you
Okay,
can,
okay.
you
Sure.
can. I'm letting y'all decide where you're gonna place yourselves.
There's plenty
In
of
spirit,
straps.
you're behind them. Yeah.
You can climb right onto his back. Don't worry. There's things you can climb and hold on to. Don't worry. Lots
You
of
look
straps.
like you're doing a great job. Just I'll stand a foot behind. You look like a good wall.
You do have a bonus action. Is there anything you'd like to do with that?
Okay. Now that I have Ozum in front of me, I'm feeling a bit braver.
Mhm.
I pull up my arm, which is just emblazoned with a bunch of notes, and I go, okay, what would I do in this situation? Adventure, help your adventuring party. And I go, oh, I got it. I pull out my recorder. I try to get my lips wet because they're so dry, and I just start tweeting this thing and hit them with bardic inspiration.
Who you can do one person. You get one party member.
The big one. The
big
big
one.
one. Ozum.
So Ozum, you have a bardic inspiration, and is your bardic inspiration a D6?
Find out.
Features and traits.
Yes.
Yep.
What is Ozum hearing?
The Titanic theme done really badly.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. He just kind of glances over his shoulder really slowly and is like,
And I look back and go,
he does the Tom Hardy and Mad Max
I was so excited to get this group together, y'all. I'm so excited to see how it goes. Okay, and Rook.
All right. Rook will have his two hands on his halberd and then just charge forward. The moment he sees the creature come from the mists and everything, and he is gonna. Oh, I'll trust my physical dice. Should not have trusted my physical dice. All right, so that is going to be a 15, which will not hit. Correct?
It does not hit, unfortunately.
Okay. So then I will use my second attack and then go ahead and do that. Well, that's way better. Okay. So that is a 16. That's a 23 to AC.
I think that'll do it. Even a dragon's gonna feel that one.
And then that is 11 for that damage. And I am going to pop my Divine Smite.
Okay.
Divine Smite and an extra D8. Ooh, actually hit right. That's extra. Okay, so it'll be 19 damage total for that attack.
What kind of is your divine smite? What kind of damage does that do? Is it
It
just-
says radiant,
Okay.
so I think it's radiant. Yeah.
So, was it? I'm sorry. How much was your divine smite specifically?
That one was 8.
8. Okay, so that puts me down to.
Is there a reason you asked that? Is there...
Gee, why?
Okay. In game, do I notice that something it affected it more?
I'm trying to math and troubleshoot and do all this at once. So it's sorry, y'all.
No, you're good. You're good.
Doing it live. I actually ran like test recordings, and yeah, you know what you gonna do? I think that might reduce the echo some. I hope. We're gonna have to figure this out soon. So yes, so we're just gonna do it right there. So both you and Ozum realize that you cut into this thing, and you both definitely heard it. But outside of that divine smite, it doesn't feel like you two did as much damage as you would have liked. And then it's the dragon's turn. So Willie, you're about a foot behind Ozum. How close were you, Rook, to Ozum? Because we know Nabi's off to the side. Where did you end up?
Wait, who are you asking?
Nabi.
Okay.
I'm sorry, no, Rook. Nabi's off to the side. Ozum was in front to get the shoulder. Where did you end up, Rook?
I'll be on the... I'm assuming that I can't get behind the actual creature, so I'll go to the side, like one of the shoulders.
So, this beast rears its head back and inhales deeply. Ozum and Willie, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Each one. I will do that. No. Oh no.
Oh, tell me you didn't just nat one it, girl.
Baby.
You're muted, lady.
I know. I said fuck.
Did you both nat one it?
No, I got a 21. I'm okay. For once.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let a 6 nat 1 in a row happen this time.
Wait, but if it's one, we're adding something, right? What are we adding?
Do you have a dex
Help.
modifier?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Well-
4.
Do you have disadvantage on dex?
No, my dexterity is just +3. I have acrobatics.
Oh, right, you got a nat 1. My brain can't work right now. Thank you. I'm
So-
too involved.
Willie, you take 38 points of damage.
Oh my god!
Ozum, you take half of that.
Okay, that's
So you
fine.
take 16, I think? Is that how math works?
I just
What-
I fall like a log, just straight backwards to a crisp.
To try to help the homie, would Willie get advantage because she's behind Ozum? His large frame?
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. You got half cover, so roll me one more. Dex save.
Roll another.
I like it. Teamwork. Teamwork early.
This can't be right. 1 second.
Okay, I take 19 points of damage.
Thank you.
You know what? Forget the technology. I'm rolling the die. Let's
Roll
do
the
this.
dice. You know, your dex is a +3. Just roll the dice. I believe in you. Come on, Willie.
I'm using the one you gave me. Let's do this.
Oh dear.
Those are cursed. Don't you dare.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so the dex is 3. Okay, 9.
You still fall over. The Bartificer is out. The dragon breathes a cone of black necrotic energy 30 feet out. Ozum, you power through it. And Visal slowly pulls herself to her elbows. And she says, "We need to light this place up." She gets to her feet, holds out her hands, and as she curls her hands in, mist appears and crystallizes into a giant axe. She says, Get the gnome up and light it up. And holds her turn. Nabi.
So, Nabi looks over at the dropping gnome and is like, oh shit, this is serious, because she was, her cocky self before that. So she spends a little bit of time looking at the gnome, looking at the dragon, looking at the gnome, looking at the dragon. Not really sure which way to go, because she knows if she tries to leave, that dragon's gonna pummel her. So she decides to just go for it and tries to run to bring the gnome, to help the gnome.
Excellent. Dragon is going to take an attack of opportunity.
Of course it is.
What's your... Sorry, I'm checking. Does a 12 hit?
No.
You slip away as this long neck spins around and jaws snap just behind you.
Serpentine!
All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so she's gonna run up, do some swift dodging action, and then run up to the gnome and use her hand of healing. Spend a key point and use her hand of healing for 1d6 plus 2. She's basically gonna punch the gnome, heal. She's gonna punch, yeah. Get yourself together!
Yeah.
My head just goes.
Now is not the time for a nap. 6. You get 6 back.
All right. Willie, it's not your turn yet, but you spring awake to a woman in a butterfly mask smacking your face.
Oh, thanks.
Well, let's be fair, Willie probably deserves that.
Should have dropped first.
Nabi, anything else you would like to do?
No, because she's not going back in there right now. She's
Alrighty.
just gonna, she's just gonna stay right
She
where
gonna
she
chill?
is.
She gonna
Yep.
chill. Okay.
Yep.
Ozim. How are you handling this?
Ozim locks eyes with the mysterious woman, slowly holds up a grenade. A frag grenade, to be exact. Just looks her dead in the eyes and goes, "Would this work?"
We need light.
You could have elaborated on that. When you say light it up, it can mean a variety of things.
She
Light.
doesn't bother with an answer.
I like how he's arguing the point in the middle of a dragon fight.
He doesn't give a shit.
I have been so excited to see how this party's gonna get on.
He begrudgingly puts the grenade back into his pocket. Does thaumaturgy allow me to do anything with light? No, not really. No.
Viewers, can you all hear Ozim?
I
Just
can.
making sure.
Is that better?
Actually, you seem to be less echoey when that happened. Okay, they can hear
Oh.
you. Just making
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you were so much less echoey. I don't know what you did, but that fixed much of the echoing.
Oh, I turned my mic sensitivity up. Oops.
It wasn't
Cool.
me. Yay! Thank
Sorry.
you. Thank you, chat.
Here. A little bit more. Okay. So sorry that it was me. I don't know why that was happening with a
I do.
low sensitivity.
I do think there is. It's still a little bit echoey. I do think it is coming and going. I'm gonna try to fix it. But excellent. It is your turn. Ozim just might notice, because he is Ozim, and he is prone to noticing these things.
Go.
Vasal's axe is bigger. It is
Oh,
so much
no!
larger that it's almost unreal that she can hold it up. It's like a buster sword, but an axe.
Why would you tell me that? Also, are you hearing Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, or are you hearing the Godplane audio? Because I need to. Because then, if you're hearing Sabotage by Beastie Boys, then I know that we're having a problem.
No, I'm not hearing that. Are you all hearing
Okay.
Beastie Boys? I hope
Just
not, because I
checking,
don't want to get a
saw
DMCA
someone
strike.
saying Ozem still has Godplane audio, but it's less. So I didn't know if that was like an echo, because I'm not hearing the Godplane audio.
That's great music to fight this thing, though.
Thank you. I have it on repeat right now. I mean, you're like enticing him to go into a rage right now. I mean,
you are fighting a dragon.
yeah, but light. Like, he's a big boy. He can't glow.
There's maybe other people in the party who have light spells.
That's okay. Fine. He'll go into a rage. Why not? He doesn't explain why. He just looks the mysterious woman up and down again. Rolls his eyes, and will go into a rage.
Now he big mad.
He big mad.
What's he do?
So that's a bonus action, but that doesn't count as my 2 attacks.
Right?
Okay. And so I won't be in a rage yet, right? It's the next turn it'll
No,
apply
you can
for?
do your bonus action before your action.
Oh, okay. He's then a rage. Okay. So I guess I'll go for 2 attacks.
Please do. I have a big angry dragon that I would like to not kill you all.
Yes. But that's... Does a great axe it gets the bonus, the +2 damage with on the great axe, right?
Yes.
Okay, sick. Alright. Let's see if I hit the dragon.
It's funny, your echo's still there, but it's different.
In what sense?
It's less tinny and more melodic. It's very strange. I can
It's
hear the
not
echo.
Beastie Boys, right?
No, it's not Beastie Boys.
Yeah, your dice is cursed. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Please don't use my dice then. They're pretty,
Okay.
but
17.
17 hits.
All right. So, for the damage. All right, big beefy boy, let's do this.
Come on, chunk.
18.
18. Nice.
For the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it cuts in, but there's something about that dragon hide. It doesn't go as deep as you want it to go, and it probably makes you more mad.
18. Hits it. He's hitting again.
Hits it again. Get him.
All right.
Get him.
Not as much. He hits it for 8.
For 8? Okay.
And I think I don't... Yeah, it's just those 2 bonus actions, right?
Yeah. You get
Yeah.
your bonus action, you get your 2 attacks. Do you want to move anywhere around this dragon? Because we got Willie and Nabi kind of behind you.
Am I?
I've
still
been going
in
it.
Nabi's arms?
Say that again, Cassandra.
Am I still in Nabi's arms, like kind of coming to?
You're on the ground.
Yeah, I just
I
hit
don't
you.
think
I
she
mean,
ever hugged you. You're like on the ground getting a smack
She
from a
might-
woman in a mask. It's very. You might have feelings about it. I don't know your life, but
Okay. I thought I was being held tenderly. As
Oh,
I was
no,
being
no.
punched.
have you
no,
met
no.
Nabi? You haven't met Nabi
No
yet.
idea.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
never mind.
He's been wailing on one particular spot, I'm guessing, right?
Unless it's whatever you want.
I think he's just like been hacking to try to. He was going above the shoulder. He's literally going like at the base of the neck, trying to cleave the neck off or cleave the head off, or the neck because it has such a long neck.
Yeah.
Has he made any dent in the neck? Like, is there a decent slice? How thick is the neck? How much? How?
The circumference of the neck.
Here's the thing. If you want to like actually work at cutting specifically the head off, that is like a focused kind of attack, which you're going to have to do at disadvantage because you're specifically trying to hit the same spot. So you've carved several like cuts into this part of it as I hit myself gesticulating, but like it's not like, oh, I'm about to cleave the head off. If you want to do that, that's difficult to do in D&D. We can do it if you want to do something really cool and you roll an @20, but like if you want to do a very focused, I'm specifically trying to cut a hand off, you need to let me know so that I can adjust the rolls accordingly.
After the whipping incident, I'm not going to risk needing to roll an @20.
We had an interesting one shot, y'all.
You're gonna need the Sal's axe to do that, bro.
Okay.
He's already in a rage. I think I'm just gonna. I mean,
stay there.
He could take a step, but I think he knows that the people are behind him. He's not really gonna. Okay. He's in a rage. He's not like that when he's in a rage, though.
No problem. So, Willie, it is your turn. You have come to. You are
sitting on the foggy floor.
Yeah, you are prone. You are flat on your bony butt. You're lucky you noped out of that opening scene. I was going to make you roll a Constitution roll to see if you bruised your tailbone in the back of that wagon.
Nothing worse than hitting the booty bone. I hate that.
Right. So you're prone. It's going to take. You have, I think, 25 feet of movement. It's going to take half your movement to get up.
Okay.
But then you can move within. You'll have, I'll give you 15 feet since you've got that weird odd number.
Where I am, do I need to move to do something?
So, depends on what you want to do. You are far enough. You're about, you're out of range. So if you want to go and smack it with something physically, you're going to have to get closer. You're probably 15 feet back from it. You're out of range where if you move away from it further, it's not going to be able to snap at you. But I just want to let you know, if you want to move around to a side, so you've seen, before the world went black for you, before black smoke took you out, it breathed a cone directly at you. So now in the range of that cone is now you, Nabi, and Ozum, and Rook is off to the side. So something for you to keep in mind.
I definitely want to get out of cone radius.
But as it gets to be your turn, Vassal looks at you and says, "We need light."
I shakily hold my head and go, okay, can I pull out a weapon, and if I do that,
pull out a weapon?
Take out my turn?
No. I'm going to assume you've got some weapons or instruments or something that you could pull out handy.
So I put my recorder like in my thing, and I go, okay, club lights. I pull out my club, I wave it around, and I cast dancing lights, and I go.
And lights appear, and sure enough start blinking, which might upset some of your stomachs a little bit. But as the lights form, the dragon and recoils slightly. And you get the feeling you might want to make them go solid and not stroke.
Does that take another turn, or can I just do that? I was like, okay,
no, you can just do that. This is just flavor. I'm just giving you flavor, girl.
Okay.
So that's your action. You have a bonus action, and you have the chance to stand up, and you've got 15 feet of movement.
Okay, then I definitely want to move away.
So I assume you're gonna like circle around to the opposite side of where Rook is.
Oh yeah, the next biggest person. It hasn't failed me yet.
And so I'm sorry. Did you want to go towards Rook, like behind Rook, or like the opposite direction, so you're all spreading out?
Towards Rook. I need something in front of me.
Okay. And so you're moving off beside Rook. Anything you want to do with that bonus action?
Oh, I thought moving was my bonus action. I'm being so conservative about it.
Every round you get a movement, an action, a bonus action, and a free action to, like, if you want to say something or do something small for flavor. And you can do those in any order.
Get it. Let me see. Can I do like magical tinkering in the interim?
I believe magical tinkering is an action. And I think your dancing lights was an action. I believe if it says bonus action, please tell me I'm wrong.
Let me see. It
It'll
does
say-
not say bonus action.
Then I think it's an action.
Well, all right then. Maybe I will take this to just yell out, "Hey, my club lights are totally doing something. If you guys want to hit it with anything else, a candle, a torch, now would be the time."
So, as soon as you say that, Vasal, who has been holding her turn, goes into a rage. And mist explodes out from around her. And lightning pulls down from the sky and crackles on top of this dragon. And does 23 points of full damage. And then she takes 2 swings with her axe, charging in with a giant roar with this axe that she should not be able to hold up. And she gets an 8. I set my d8s out specifically for this. You're not the only one, Cassandra.
Oh, you're making me feel so good right now.
Both hit 8 for 14 more points of full damage because of the light. And this dragon recoils in pain and lets out a horrible sound and staggers on its feet. And Rook, it is your turn.
Okay. Rook will have his halberd in 2 hands, just like after stabbing and watching the fire and flames exude from the dragon. And we'll notice Willie is like now by his side, and he'll kind of look to her and be like, "Little one, are you all right, or do you need help?"
First of all, I am not little. I am travel-sized. And as long as you stay in front of me, it'll be okay. Do you have anything to hit it with? I hit it. Did you see my lights, my club lights? Totally working.
You hear
Rook
Ozum
will-
stifle a laugh when she says that she's not little, she's travel size.
Rook will look over and Rook is like 6'2", so he'll look over and see like a bit of like her intestines that are out of her body a little bit because she took so much damage, and he'll be like, and he uses his bonus action to give her 10 HP by doing lay on hands, and then he's like, just stay behind me and be careful, and he'll then use his halberd and then just like thrust in with his first attack.
Yes.
And for a 9, and then yeah, and then that one is a 16, which will not hit. Correct?
Oh, it's so close. You didn't have bonus bardic inspiration. That was Ozum, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just shy. You swing, and this dragon's already taken so much damage that it's like wary, and it's this long lithe thing. Looking at it, it's not a full-grown dragon. And it's still young and spry, even though it's bleeding, and it just barely whiffs out of the way, and you get a couple scales off of it, and it just lets out this angry sound and sucks in air again. But it's not its turn, so you don't have to panic just yet, because it is once again Vasal's turn. And ooh, that was almost a nat 20. She goes in with 2 attacks, both of which hit. Thank the gods. I lost my d8s again. For 13 points of damage. And she nods to you all and says, "We're nearly there. We have to keep moving after this. Go." And with that, the dragon sucks in breath but does not regain its shadow breath. And frustrated, it looks around at each of you and looks at the tiefling that is too large and too close and has done too much damage. And it is going to lash out with 2 claw attacks. Does a 10 hit?
Nope.
Does a 15 hit?
Nope.
So it takes
Smug that is.
2 swipes at you. You just...
I laugh. Ozum laughs.
And it lets out this frustrated sound and whips this 10-foot long neck around and takes a snap at you, Rook. Does a 17 hit?
Just barely, yeah.
So it catches you. 2d10. It snaps at you, and there's just rage and pain in the eyes of this huge creature. Okay, well that'll do. It's the wrong d10, but it'll work.
I yell at Rook from my safe distance. It's just a flesh wound. You got this.
It snaps down on your arm for 8 points of piercing damage. And Nabi, it's back to you. You are standing over where a gnome used to be, about 10 feet back. This dragon is still up, but it is bleeding. It is leaking even more black smoke than it was before, and it is not steady on its feet.
So Nabi is just gonna run right towards it, and she's going to do she's gonna come right out the gate with a flurry of blows first.
Heck yeah.
And yeah. Oh. Yeah. 24?
Yeah,
That might-
that'll do it.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Um
I keep forgetting y'all are, like, high enough level to actually pull some good numbers.
so for 8, so it's 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So that was the first one for 8, and then the second one is 16, so that doesn't hit.
Not you get it, but like your knuckles just skid off a scale at just the wrong angle.
Okay. And then she's also obviously gonna attack. She's gonna pull out her dagger and stab it.
Nice.
Because she's mad. 24
That'll
for
connect.
4.
4, okay. This thing snarls at you. But you haven't done as much damage as some of the others, so it doesn't linger on you too much. But it's a very unhappy creature. Ozum, are you as mad as the dragon? That's my question.
Probably angrier. So, still in a rage. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just keep going with the axe.
Axe go burr.
Yeah, big axe go burr, but not that big of an axe apparently, and he's not happy about that. 19.
19 will do it.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, sir. That's an 8.
That hurts it. It does not like that.
I bet it doesn't. And here goes the next one. 18. I don't know where these are coming from, but I'm going to enjoy it. And that is a 12 for damage.
Oof. Oof. This dragon is just barely standing. It lets out this miserable sound and staggers on its feet. It is almost more smoke than it is white scales at this point. And Willie, it's your turn.
Ozum screams, finish it, just fucking punch it. I don't give a shit, just finish this.
Okay. Let me see. So, are my lights still going?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need to cast more. Everybody's punching it real good. Who's going to attack next?
It's gonna be Rook next.
Oh, and I'm right next to him. Okay, I got it. I was like, oh, I lean over really quick and give him a pat on the calf, and I go, okay, you don't have a little bitty axe, but I'm sure you got this. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with, and I just look at my notes, and I smack him with a bardic inspiration. I just grab my flute and just give it a big fleet.
And with a terrible shrill sound, you are inspired to smack this dragon. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I think Willie is just so overwhelmed with all the notes in the first adventure. She just doesn't know what to do apart from like cheering everybody on and going ham on her flute.
You are a bard. That is your job, so you're doing it well.
It's just
Rook.
horrendously shrill.
Rook, can you bring us home? It is your turn.
Well, we'll see. All right. I'm gonna use digital dice this time. So let's see. He's gonna use
Like, I don't
Hubbard.
trust that one. I don't trust that one. I don't trust that one. I don't trust that one.
Dirty 20. So that one will hit.
That one will hit.
And let me go ahead and do that damage for that one really quick.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So that's gonna be 14 for piercing, I think.
And
then
your halberd stabs into this thing. This dragon lets out a roar that rumbles the ground beneath all of you before it evaporates into dark mist. But around you, you hear cries in the mist as that sound has clearly attracted other attention. And as this battle fades, we're going to take a short break because I'm sure everyone needs to use the restroom. Everyone watching, thank you for hanging out. I'm so excited to see so many of you here. I know it was kind of a chaotic start, but that was the idea. We will be back in 8 minutes. Are we all good with that? Gonna give you enough time to get your ears on and off, Cassandra?
Yes, the struggle is real.
Thank you, viewers, for hanging out. Please take this time, stretch your legs, get some water, take a mental break if you need it. We will be back soon. Thank you all so much, and see you in a moment. And we are back. Thank you all for sticking through. Our heroes, rather reluctant as they are, just discovered that they have been summoned to a place called the Godplane to try and stop a literal nightmare from waking a dreaming god. If this god wakes, or so they're told, then everything that they know and everyone they've ever heard of will cease to exist. In the middle of this discussion, they were attacked by a juvenile white shadow dragon, which, with one casualty, who got punched back to life, the Fist of Love, came back, and they are now coming down from the battle. The dragon has evaporated, but they hear sounds all around them. Vassal is still bleeding, holding her side, and she's studying her hand as once again mist is forming in it. What do you all do as you're coming down from this fight? Could have done what?
The thing.
There's sound issues.
Yeah. Is it better, y'all?
Hello.
What?
Thank you, stream.
Can you hear?
Doing it live.
Willie bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think I know what caused it.
Oh no. I can't be bad, I'm good. Well,
You
kinda
are good.
Can you hear everyone again? I think I know what caused it this time.
Not like objectively, just the sound.
Can we,
Is Willie the only one that sounds bad, or?
Yeah, can you hear?
I feel so attacked right now.
Can you hear
Shout out
everyone
to
else
chat, by
too? Yeah,
the way.
chat, you're the best.
For
Thank you,
being
Emily.
over there.
Okay, we're back. So,
Right.
as there's silence, Willie, in her very Willie form, bursts out with, "That was so awesome!" And Nabi, in typical Nabi form, looks at Vassal and says, "You could have done that the whole time." And Vassal sighs very heavily, as if explaining to a child, and says, "My powers come from the god. As most things in dreams, they are random and wild. I don't know what's going to happen when I go into a rage, but I couldn't have done it effectively without the light."
Oh, she means me.
Mhm.
Oh,
You are
I feel very proud
not
of
the
myself.
light, but we appreciate the light you created.
The dance, the club lights. That wasn't it.
No, but you personally are not
Oh.
a light.
Okay.
And I thought I was rude.
Ozum scoffs, hearing her talking about, like, going into a rage and not knowing what's gonna happen, and the god, and whatever, and he's just staring her down.
If she notices, she doesn't seem to acknowledge, and she just turns her hand over and opens it, and the axe dissolves into mist and scatters.
He scoffs again, and literally holds his axe out and drops and lets it clang on the ground, and is like, "So what's that about, huh?"
My axe is a gift from Ayuith. I do not have to carry it everywhere. It comes with me. We should keep moving. And in her palm, the mist forms a circle, and then it pulses in one direction, and she starts walking towards the mist dome that direction, expecting you all to follow. Do you?
I look at everybody. See if they move.
There's some things to discuss first.
It feels the same way.
Rook will
I
use
was
cure
beginning to take
wounds
a
on
couple
himself.
steps. But then I saw nobody move, so I take a couple steps back. Are we just gonna let her go? I mean, I don't want to be lost in this mist world.
Ozum clears his throat really loudly.
She looks back and says, "I am going. You may follow, or you may stay here and wait for the next mist monster, which is attracted by the souls of you dreamers." And keeps walking.
Dreaming is bullshit, lady. Look, we have just a few questions for you.
Walk and talk, or else we will have another attack.
I couldn't give a single fuck if we have another attack. I have some questions, and I would like some answers now.
She keeps walking, but gestures for you to ask, and she is going.
Is the mist like collapsing on us, or is it?
It's ever moving. It's kind of ever swirling, but if you get to the edges of it, you'll see it kind of moves in and out a little bit, but it's not collapsing. It seems very stable in this place.
I look at everybody. I go, "Oh, this is stupid," and I rush to catch up with Saul. And then I turn around and yell at Ozum, "Ask your question. I'll ask her."
Rook will follow and be like, "I better follow the little one. She might get herself killed again." And then we'll head over.
Ozum looks down at Nabi and like lifts his chin at her, like, "You have questions too, right?"
Of course I do.
What do you want to ask?
Why the fuck we were brought here to begin with?
Yeah. Well, you can follow her if you want, or we can ask from here. I do not care. I will move at some point, maybe.
Do I
I don't
hear
feel
any
like you
of
should
this?
be here alone anyway, in case those monsters do show back up.
You don't need to worry about me. It's okay. If something happens to me, something happens to me.
Yeah, but you're useful, so.
Debatable. He kind of mutters that under his breath.
Nabi, roll me a perception check.
10.
You hear a voice. Quite. You don't get all of it, but it sounds almost playful. I want to do what the asshole says.
I feel like we should follow.
And what makes you say that?
Just the voices in my head.
We won't unpack that now.
Probably a good idea.
Okay.
But we won't get our questions answered either if we let her walk away.
He gestures forward, stoops down to pick up his axe and just kind of lets it dangle, and the blade drags across the ground when he starts taking some steps forward.
Nabi grabs her spear too before they walk away.
Is Rook within the vicinity of Vasal?
Yeah.
Okay, then he'll...
She's walking quickly, but not like... It's not difficult to keep up. She's also pretty injured. She was not in great health when you found her, and she got gorged in the ribs by dragon horns.
She's walking slow enough. I can catch up to her in 5 fucking steps. I don't give a shit. We'll get there when we get there.
So, I'll turn to Vasal and look at her wounds and be like, "Do you need help with that?"
She looks at you with sirens blaring in the distance for some reason.
Let her God
run.
help
Yeah.
her. Let her God help her.
She looks you over, and she looks like she considers it, and then simply turns and keeps walking.
Rude.
Then he'll be like, "All right, well, Vasal, was it?
Yes.
If we need to kill a god, then why didn't you choose greater champions of heroes of legend? Like, why us?" As he kind of gestures,
She pauses, walking, and turns to face you and holds out her arms. And you're once again see just the tapestry of tattoos, individual markings linked by mist covering her body. Do you think this is the first time I have guided a band of adventurers on this quest?
I power
Nope.
stance and I give a huge point and I go, oh, I get it. You get new ink every time somebody comes in, right? And I look around, 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. So that's why you were bleeding. Did I get it?
You are very astute.
So what you're saying is you've never been successful in your quest to kill a god.
No.
Oh.
Great. Really, really great. Really vote of confidence there. Really just great.
And she turns and approaches the mist wall. And again, you see that sphere of mist form in her hand. And she places it against the wall of mist. And her hand partially vanishes into it. She draws in a deep breath, which clearly hurts. And you watch again a pulse of magic come out of her and hit the wall. And this mist that has been churning and roiling and has been getting more agitated since this dragon fight, a section of it smooths out and becomes calm and almost inviting, which is strange because you've never thought of mist as inviting, and yet you feel like it might be calling to you. We will be safe in here. And she steps into the mist and vanishes.
Forgive me if I don't trust the tattoo lady that all brought us to the spirit dragon.
While Nabi is in the middle of saying that, I'm like, you don't gotta tell me twice. And I rush in after her.
And then I'll look back and be like, "We'll scream if anything goes wrong." As he like steps in as well. Yeah.
She looks at Ozum and is like, "After you."
I love this bromance so much.
There's a lot of Mad Max references today, but that's bait. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would say we could go in together, but that is definitely not a doorway large enough to fit both of us at the same time.
You're pretty big.
I don't know. I don't want to go in there. You don't want to go in there. We probably should go in there. But I worry that if I step in, you're not going to.
Yes, because I'm gonna stand here by myself, waiting for more mist dragons to show up.
If your ass doesn't follow me through this doorway, I swear to God. The gods, whatever. No God, I don't care. Just... And he walks through.
And she follows.
All right. You all, two of you earlier than the others, step into a space made of pure cloud. Or is it mist? It's soft, formless swirls of white and gray that close in on all sides, forming a narrow corridor. Even the ground beneath you is made of gray-white vapor, which is somehow solid. The space itself is about 10 feet across. Taller, so you don't feel like you need to stoop, Ozum. Though the edges do shrink and grow with the movement of the swirling, almost living mist. Visal steps into the space and visibly relaxes. Let's keep going. We can rest at the end. It's not far. And she moves again, but much more slowly. There's less urgency to her this time.
I reach over to her and tug on whatever garment she has on. Oh, wait, hold on. You said that this was a safe space.
It is, for a time. The tunnels between worlds come and go and collapse, but when you've been walking them as long as I have, you get a feel for them. This will be here for a while, and this is a friendly mist. We'll be shielded from monsters for a while.
Can I roll a perception check?
Please do. What you looking for?
Just if anything feels weird.
I mean...
Of course it's gonna feel weird. I don't know, Kay. I just feel like I need to make a perception roll.
Check for trap.
A 4.
You're standing on a cloud, buddy.
Shit, love that. Great.
Yeah.
Would you say this is safe enough for an hour?
If you ask Visal, because you don't know.
Can I roll a persuasion roll for that? I got a real good modifier for my persuasion rolls.
I mean, you can persuade her. You can just ask.
She doesn't like me, and I don't like her.
The Rook will ask and be like, when you say for a time, how much exactly will be safe for?
She sighs and is like, all right. And she, again, holds out her hand. And again, mist is forming. But this time it forms something solid. It coalesces into a silver compass about 3 inches around, about an inch thick, with a long chain, and says, "Who would like this?" Turns it around, and it's just a silver compass with a blank porcelain face.
Oh, right here. Me.
I knew it.
This is the one.
She hands it down to Willie. And again, it's about 3 inches around, so it's pretty big in your little hands. And the chain, it probably hangs down to about your belly button. I can see that you are all a difficult bunch, and should we get separated, that will guide you to the safest place possible. As you hold it, it warms quickly in your hands, And much like you saw with her coalescing the mist, a compass needle forms on it, pointing the direction she's walking you. And the mist, the compass pulses very slowly. She says, this particular tunnel be long enough so that you all may rest and recover your health. Some will collapse sooner, and this compass will indicate it. Stepping out of character, so we don't spend forever talking around the obvious. This tunnel and any place where the compass needle pulses slowly, you will be able to take a long rest. Faster blinkings are a short rest. And as the long rest ends, the compass will start to blink faster, so you will have an indication before the tunnel collapses. The more white the mists, the closer they are to Ayuith, the safer you will be. For now, let's get to the end of this tunnel and make camp. We could all use a rest. And then she specifically turns and meets your eyes, Ozum. And she's not as tall as you, but she's somehow still looking down at you. Says, I'm sure you have more questions. And keeps walking.
He huffs and begrudgingly follows her. Can he roll a persuasion roll just when he feels like she's looking down on him? He wants to intimidate her right back. Or an intimidation roll, not persuasion.
Sure.
Intimidation roll. He just has the need, you know? A nat 20 with a +6, so 26.
She doesn't quite beat that. She doesn't seem to like any of you. But she specifically doesn't seem to like you, Ozum. And
Yeah, that's
her
fine.
lip even comes up in a slight sneer. But when you look back at her, it's not an obvious thing, but you're used to people trying to be brave in your face. And you see that slight give of her will as she just keeps walking.
He gives her an absolute shit-eating grin.
Are all of us watching this while this is going down?
Yeah, it's a very
I'm
awkward
definitely
party.
watching.
Willie grabs her collar and goes, ugh. Because to her mind, she's in a strange place. She has literally been plunked into what she's only known to be writing, which is adventures. And there is a guide that she wants to follow, and a huge, hulking tiefling that was doing a pretty good job defending her. She wants to keep both of them around, so I feel like she'd want to do something. She'd be like, well, looks at Ozum and says, well, we can walk and talk, right? You can, ask your questions, and we could just be hunky-dory. I'm Wilhelmina, by the way. You can call me Willie.
I'm not going anywhere. Travel-sized Willie. Kind of stuck here with you. I might as well follow. Because you all seem a little too calm about the fact that she has never succeeded in the thing that she's trying to do. And now we're in the position of trying to be the ones to succeed.
Did you miss the last 5 minutes? We totally succeeded. We killed
That
everything.
That wasn't the god. She's trying to kill a god. You think a little dragon, not even that dragon wasn't even fully grown. You think that that's impressive?
I did 5 minutes ago.
I have a feeling there is plenty yet to come.
I just get on my tiptoes and yell, is there plenty yet to come?
Obviously.
I look at Ozum. There's plenty yet to come. We should probably ask more questions.
You think?
Oh, go ahead. Nabi looks at Willie and goes, is this your first time?
First time doing what?
Any of this?
like adventuring with like actual like adventurers. I've written about it, but I haven't actually been in it. I can't believe I died and I came back. That was awesome.
One second, Jerica says there's a really bad echo in the stream right now. Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to fix it.
Struggle.
Check.
Voices and things.
Unfortunately, I think it's mostly you, Sophie. I don't know why. I don't know
But I'm muted.
I mean, but it seems to, you're fine when it's when you speak specifically. Which
Dang,
it's
Jade.
not your fault.
But that makes no sense. All the sounds coming in through my headset.
I don't. I'm fighting with some back-end channel stuff to try to make it not happen, but keep going, Cassandra, because I don't think you're double sounding.
All right, I'm single sounding. All right, I'm sorry. What was the question that Nabby asked, or statement, or?
Nabi asked if this was your first time doing any of this.
I've written a lot about it, so I'd say I'm pretty experienced.
Oh.
Crosses her arms, looks pretty confident.
Nabi looks over at Ozum, goes, yeah, this one's pretty experienced. Great.
You're bleeding, by the way. Do you
Oh, still?
can you take care of that, or do you need help?
I mean, I could do with the help. I mean, I just write about this stuff, and I've always dreamed to be around people that would fight dragons and do exciting things so that I could make music out of it. She pulls out her little recorder. I'm trying to be a bard, you see. I do concerts back home. I'm just so excited. I'm like learning on the go.
Very exciting.
Right on. Well, just try to avoid any sort of piercing or bludgeoning sort of attacks from any creatures. Because I don't have a lot of this, as he will put his hand on your shoulder and then give you 5 more HP, and he'll look over to Vasal and go like, so is there any way that we can escape, or is there any way that we can leave from here at all?
I do not think you understand how dire this situation is. And she again motions to her body, and you can see the left side where your tattoos are on the right side under her arm. The left side is full. There is nowhere on her body save her face, the palms of her hands, and the soles of her feet that do not have tattoos. You are the last. If you do not succeed, then the god will wake. Everyone, almost everyone you have ever heard of, everyone you have ever known, and everything you have ever known will cease to exist. And I will finally get to rest.
What's your vetting process?
It is not me. You were chosen of the god. I would have skipped this exercise.
Well, if we can't escape, then I guess the only thing we can do is see this through until another option appears.
Ozum kind of mutters under his breath, everything I care about is already gone, so I really couldn't give a single shit.
Yes, I know. I was very looking forward to traveling with a depressed traitor. Thank you.
You brought us here.
I did not. Ayueth did.
Well, clearly your god wanted you to travel with a severely depressed traitor, so lucky you!
Even gods have survival instincts. Nabi, as we're walking, out of the corner of your eye, you see a movement. Give me one more perception check.
$18.
You feel it before you actually see it. There's a soft brush of something against your leg, at your calf. And you look down and you see a cat. Its pink and almost hairless and seems to have mist kind of coming off it, easy, casually. It looks up with you with pink eyes, and you swear it winks.
You.
And then it sidesteps into the mist, and it's gone.
She nudges Ozum. It's like, did you see that?
Did Ozum see it?
Roll me a perception check.
All right.
I want to see what the dice say.
Got a nat one.
Didn't say thing.
Do
We're
any
in
of the rest
hallway.
of us see it?
You can roll me perception at disadvantage if you want to see. They're kind of hanging at the back. You two are talking with Fasal.
It'll be a 19 to perception.
I got a 16.
Cozy, you don't. But Rook, you see something move, but to you just see mist. Like it's weird that mist is coming this far into the tunnel. But you just see a curl of mist. Nothing unusual.
I lean into Ozum and I go, there's a cat following us.
Is it a nice cat? A mean cat?
I'm not
Big
sure.
cat? Small cat?
Small cat, hairless cat, pink cat.
Okay. Thanks.
Just keep your eye out.
What do I do if I see the cat?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So, after a little more walking, you come to the end of the tunnel. You see the mist is kind of swirling there. And Vasal very tiredly sets herself down and sits crisscross applesauce and takes maybe a pose that you recognize as a meditation pose. And it occurs to you, this is the second time you've seen her in a kind of meditation pose. Roll me a wisdom check.
Who, me?
I know I'm attacking you with a lot of stuff right now, but maybe you are the main character. Who knows?
18.
Barbarians aren't known for meditation. And you saw her go into a rage. It was a weird magic rage, but it was a rage. So this is strange. You can do with that whatever you wish.
I'm gonna hold on to that information for now.
So she sits and again motions. Any further questions?
Yeah, when you get your tattoos, do you get directions on what we should do? Because you have a lot of them. So I'm guessing that maybe you've learned some things until we've gotten here from the others?
She reacts to a question that you didn't really ask, and you see it flicker, but you don't quite pick up on what it is. She says, I do see things when I get my tattoos. I've walked this path many times. I have stood shoulder to shoulder with the greatest heroes you have ever heard of, and you have not. And every time, we have failed. This time won't be different, but I have to try.
You're not really inspiring a lot of hope here, lady.
She again kind of does this, and you can see she has to have been through this 2 or 3 dozen times. And she says, I do not have a lot of hope left. Certainly not with this group. She looks at Ozum. Traitors. She looks at Nabi. Arrogant. She looks between Willie and Rook and says, cowards. This is not who I
Hey.
want to die with.
For
Hold on
someone
a
who
minute.
spouts about dreams so much, it's kind of rich that you're calling me a traitor.
She just smiles, doesn't reply.
Rook will go like, all right, well, if you've done this so many times, can you tell us what's going to happen next so we can better prepare for it? Anything you can do?
Oh, that's a good question.
We have to travel towards the nightmare. We have to fight it, and if we can take it down, I have found ways. I've found methods, but I'm not confident that you will be equal to the task. I'll take us to a safe house. From there, we will prepare, and hopefully we'll go directly to the safe house, and then through an altar to the final battle. I will guide you, and should we be separated, the compass will show you the way.
At least we won't get lost. I hold up the compass as if nobody could see it. Probably because I'm very short.
Is this the same path you take every time?
I have found the most direct routes and the safest places from the nightmare's gaze.
Does the nightmare happen to be a cat?
You've seen a cat. And she stands quite suddenly and turns and looks through the mist. You're not welcome here, demon. They're under my care, reluctant as it may be.
Evil
She
cat.
doesn't seem to hear anything. It turns, it says, Michelle is a distraction. Don't let him bother you.
He has
And
a
she
name.
sits and looks very grumpy. She's been grumpy this whole time, but like here's a whole new layer.
So is this just out of character? Are we in a long rest right now? Should we add our hit points back, or?
I'm gonna give you some time. You've been through a lot. I'm gonna give you all some time to chat. If you want to ask any more questions of us all, talk amongst yourselves, any stories you want to trade. But it's gonna finish with a long rest. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna look at Rook, elbow him in the thigh and go, she's talking to a cat.
Like, there's a bunch of mist here. We're like summoned. She's got tattoos, magic. And then he just like kind of haphazardly leans on his halberd and just waits.
So she
So,
says
what
again, she's settled
Oh, go
in,
ahead.
and she says, there are no fires here, but you should rest. She pauses and she looks at you, Ozum. And she says, since you'll be under my care, I will ensure that you are not bothered by the dream. Try not to do anything stupid. Rest. We have a long way to go in the morning. And
You know,
with that,
I almost wish you'd let me have it. Just to see.
and she lays down on the misty ground and goes to sleep. Do you all wish to chat further? Or would you like to take your long rest? Do you trust her that this is a safe place, or would you like to set up a guard? A watch?
I'll take first watch.
You say that in character?
Yeah, then I'll look to everyone and be like, I don't trust anything here, and I'm gonna go ahead and stay up for a little bit just to make sure we don't get jumped. If anyone else wants to help out, I would appreciate it.
Ozem will sit close to Rook and be like, just give me like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't know. Whenever you feel like waking me up, just wake me up. I'll be fine.
You got it. As
And then
he
I'll take it from there.
If we see trouble, what do I call you? I don't know any of your names.
My name is Rook. It's good to meet you. Willie, is that right?
Willie pulls out a big ostentatious quill from the inside lapel of her thing and goes, "All right, Rook. Yes, it is.
Oh, good. All right.
What about the rest of you?"
Ozone.
Oz. And
You
she
can
runs
call
out of
me
room on her
Nabi.
arm and goes, Oz.
Oz is fine.
And Nabby? Misspelling it horrendously.
And Nabi looks at Ozum and goes, if you get tired, which is not a thing I think that happens with you, just, I'll just be right over here.
What should we do if that cat comes up? Should we, think up a call? Should I go, caw-caw, caw-caw?
Just
Sure.
tell the cat to fuck off. It's a cat, a hairless, small pink cat. Well, you're small. It could actually do some damage to you.
Yeah, let us know.
Just say that the cat's there. That's fine. Don't go caw. I'm begging
Would you prefer a meow, or would that
no,
be too confusing?
just say the cat is here.
Okay.
That's
well,
it.
she mentioned, and she points to the sleeping salt, she mentioned that it was a demon.
Just say the cat's here. And you, Nabi, if you see anything else, please say something.
Got it.
Willie takes the silence, and it's very clear that she is very uncomfortable with not filling the air with something. Puts her hands on her hips and goes, so, Oz, she was saying stuff about you being a traitor. What did you traitoringlessness?
I have a feeling we'll have plenty of time in the future to get into that.
We
I really
could die in the future?
I think we're all going down that path right now. It's more... Look, listen. No. We're not going to talk about it now. Don't worry about it. Considering some of the other shit that she said, it is quite rich to hear her call me that. And she's not a little bit unwarranted, if you need to know. That's all I'll say. Here's a blanket. Go take a nap. Okay?
He takes it and mutters, "I'm not sleepy."
No, you're going... Go to sleep. Your guts were hanging out of your abdomen a few minutes ago. I would really suggest taking a nap.
He looks over his shoulder. I got better!
God damn it.
All right. Each of you who are taking a watch, please roll me a perception check. I leave it up to Ozum if he's giving Nabi a watch or not.
No, Ozum's not going to give Nabi a watch.
Is he taking a full long rest then? Or is he going into the next day with a point of exhaustion?
How long of a... Well... Can we split it 50-50 between me and Rook, and is that fine?
It will...
1 hour is a short rest, at least. So we get at least a short rest.
Yeah, so you can definitely take a short rest. So, Rook, do you want to take a long rest? Because if you want to take a long rest, you can split it 3 ways very nicely. If you split it 2 ways, then either both of you are going to have to take a point of exhaustion. You can take a short rest each, but not a long rest. Or one person could take a long rest, and one person will not quite get that long rest, and we'll take a short rest.
Then we'll let
Oh, you
Nabi
said-
take a watch, too.
Okay, yeah. And I gotta...
yeah, that's fine.
I got a 3 for my perception.
Okay. So
got a
you
12.
took the first one, and it seems like a nice place. The mists are moving really pretty. You almost nod off a couple times because they're just so hypnotic and pretty as they flow. Ozum, you had a 12? Again, it's nice, it's uneventful, it's quiet. I'll let you decide how you feel about it being very quiet.
He doesn't like it. He's very on edge. And even though he knows that he'll be able to sleep without worrying, it's very hard for him. I don't know. He might hum to himself a little bit. You might hear him very quietly humming to himself.
Does Willie hear this?
If you want to hear it, roll a perception check. I don't know. Maybe you do. Are you asleep? Who knows?
Yeah, because my shift was how many hours? Like 4 hours, something like that, or 3?
Yeah, so it's an 8-hour, but we're gonna have to like spread it out a little bit so everyone. I mathed this out, and now I'm drawing it blank.
Oh man, if Rook started first on a shift, like Willie's out. She's like sprawled out, mouth open.
Yeah, passed out.
Started.
Yeah, exactly.
Not waiting
Yeah.
for Ozum's shift.
Rook will definitely struggle a little bit and hesitate as he pulls out like a symbol of Maliki, his unicorn sort of god that he worships, and just kind of hold it up and be like, I know I haven't talked to you in a while, and things are a little bit rocky, but I'm really hoping you're gonna help me out with this because I do not feel good about this. As he just like says a small little prayer and then puts it back in his bag as he continues to watch.
Does Ozum see that happen? Can I check to see if he sees that happen?
Go for it, yeah.
An 11.
How sneakily is this like an open thing that he does, or does he try to do this
He's
without?
keeping a hushed tone to not wake anyone up, with his like prayer or anything like that. But it's pretty obvious, and you can probably hear his armor also like clank and crinkle as he yeah.
So it's probably enough to, if you're probably pretty on guard anyway. I did the math. You each do a 4-hour shift.
Okay.
It's not that hard of a math. I'm just really bad at math. You're pretty on guard anyway. So if you want to like overhear it, but you're probably pretty asleep, so it's kind of how perceptive do you think Ozum's gonna be?
I think he'll hear just like the mutterings. I think he just is paying attention to what's happening. He's not gonna make any comment about it, but he'll take note that it sounds like a prayer, just because he's trying to learn about everyone.
And you rolled what was your roll, Nabi?
19.
19. You are extra on guard because you've seen this cat several times now. But nothing. You see mists move, but again, it is eerily silent. Seems like this might actually be a safe space, but who knows? We're in the mists. And at last, Visal stirs before the rest of you, outside of those of you keeping watch the last shift. And she begins moving through a series of katas, which again are very unbarbarian-like, as she stretches and wakes up for the day. And you all enjoy the benefits of a long rest. Cassandra, if you're using D&D Beyond, if you go to the top, you can click, there's a button that says long rest, click long rest, and then click take a long rest. And it will heal you, restore all your spell slots, and you awake as refreshed as you can be, given the stressful situation you have just been through.
Glorious
And
8 hours.
sleeping on a cloud is actually rather comfortable. Who knew?
I just get up and I go, oh man. Oh, I had terrible dreams that I was like in the middle of a dragon, and I look around, recognize everyone, I'm like, oh.
Visal nods and looks you all over and says, I trust you're all rested. She holds out her hands, and in one hand, a water skin coalesces from mist, and then another. She starts handing one to each of you. And she says, "Here on the Godplane, you do not need to eat, but for your sanity, you should drink." And she takes out a water skin of her own and takes a drink.
Can I roll an insight?
Roll an insight.
20.
She seems very genuine. She doesn't want to be here, but she does seem determined to see this thing through to the end.
Okay,
and she does seem to want you to drink. Everyone who takes a drink, roll me a d20. And if you do not drink, I do need to know.
Ozum smells it first to check, just because he knows what some things poisons smell like.
Give me a perception check.
I got a nat 20.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
I didn't say he didn't drink.
4.
He's just smelling. He's just giving it a
Yeah,
sniff.
I know.
13.
13. It doesn't smell quite normal, but it doesn't smell like poison. But when you start to think about it, everything here seems a little off.
Okay.
All of you who rolled, you rolled a nat 20, you rolled a 13, and you rolled a 6.
I got a 17.
17? Okay. Nabi and Ozum, as you drink, the water refreshes you, and you gain a point of inspiration that you can use during stability checks, which we will dive into next session. For the other two of you, you get a refreshing drink, and it is refreshing, and you do feel a little bit better, and it feels like something normal here on the Godplane. Are we ready to go?
I glug like half the skin and just wipe my mouth. Can you like miss some sausages and maybe an egg? I know you said that we didn't have to eat, but I mean, what if we want to?
She gives you a long look and then says, "These skins will refill each morning, so keep them close." And puts her hand to the wall, and you see the mist part slightly and grow thinner, as if it wants you to step through.
I huff and look at Nappy and go, "She didn't really answer my question." And I walk through.
Nabi just rolls her eyes at the gnome.
Rook will follow.
All right.
Ozum will begrudgingly follow.
Same.
You step out onto a plain. Gray and barren as before, but you're immediately blasted with a wall of oppressive, dry heat. And you realize this is the first time you've noticed temperature since you've been here. Dust kicks at your emergence, but clears after a moment. Reveal endless dunes of sand in every direction. Still gray, still somehow featureless. The only thing you can see in any direction on the horizon is a pillar a short distance away. Vassell doesn't even glance at this pillar. She holds her hand, and you watch that compass again appear in her palm, and she starts marching the direction it points. Her eyes locked in the distance and a determined gait. Do you follow?
Wait, is that my compass?
No. She has a misty compass that summons out of her hand. It's not
well,
solid.
When
it's
I see
just
that,
mist.
I am hurriedly check my pockets and go, okay.
You do still have the compass. What's your marching order, if you follow?
Ozum's gonna stay in the back.
I mean,
Rook
I
will
have to be
go to the
first.
front. Or Rook will go as much as front as he can.
I will shove ahead of Rook because if I'm behind somebody, I won't see anything.
And I'll be between Rook and Ozum.
All right. Visal, as conversational as ever, just keeps marching forward. And her path leads you towards the pillar, which seems to refract light in a strange way. As you approach, a cool fog coalesces around the pillar about ankle height, and it seems less sentient than the mist. Visal just keeps walking. Do any of you investigate? Pause to look? Peer from afar?
I'm gonna pause to look. Curious.
Roll me a perception.
Okay. Where is my perception? 2. 13.
13. You see something that's about 10 feet tall and about 5 feet around, and it's clear. So it's hard to tell if it's glass or ice. Oh, wait, no. The mist is cold. It's probably ice. As you kind of peer at it, you see what looks like a huge rusted church bell suspended about halfway up in this pillar. With a 13, you see a colorful movement in it. That's about all you see as Visal keeps walking.
Ozim moves his hand to his whip as he watches Willie go to investigate something. Doesn't pull it out, but his hand is there, ready to use, if need be.
Well, I need to announce what I found. I get on my tippy toes and lean over. There's a bell in here! It's like in an ice thingy!
Visal kind of rolls her eyes and says, keep moving. We don't have time for these kinds of distractions.
Are you sure about that?
She pauses in her pace and looks back to see if you all are still following.
Oh, that's new.
So if you've done this for so long and have failed so many times, what is... I know you've said that everything that we know will cease to exist, but what's your stake in this game? Why do this?
Because I was once mortal like you. I am a servant of the dreaming god, and if he wakes, I also end. I also see things through.
What does the bell do?
It's part of a dream, a fragment of a dream.
Am I too far away to hear any of this?
No, you're all.
Okay. Well, if you've done this before, and every single one has failed, maybe we should try something different. And I kicked the pillar. Maybe we should look around. Pick up some stuff.
So you kick the pillar, and even through the sole of your shoe, you can feel the cold. And right as you say, we should look around, you see a big golden movement. And you look up and come face to face with what has to be a 40-pound pop-eyed goldfish, swimming inside the ice. And it stares at you with its mouth opening and closing.
Oh my god! I run away and I hide behind the biggest person, which has to be Ozim.
So sorry, but as soon as Ozim heard Vasal say that's a fragment of a dream, Ozim kind of sinks down to a squat and runs his hands up into his hair, and it's just taking very, very short, exasperated breaths. Like he's trying not to panic and he's trying to calm himself down.
Yes, you're going to have a very not fun time here, I'm afraid.
Is he okay? What's happening? You usually attack stuff. Get up!
Nabi looks at Ozim very confused.
He will, if you're talking to him, he's really not going to hear you. He's just gonna focus on trying to breathe, and eventually his breathing will start to slow just a little bit. But he's... If he was already having a bad time, it is just progressively getting so much worse. Kay, I hate you so much.
I warned you we were going to have to talk after the first episode.
So the big guy's afraid of fish. Got it.
Is that what this is?
We should keep moving.
That's probably a good idea. And I uselessly shove Ozim forward. Let's go, buddy.
Since everyone's like slowed down and everything seems to be safe, Rook will follow behind Vasal, like just trailing her.
Ozim will feel like he'll feel the fact that someone's touching him. It might scare him a little bit more, or it might freak him out a little bit more to be touched when he's in this state. So he might he's not gonna hurt you, but like he's definitely flinching and like
At my baby hands?
yeah at any touch, like it's because he's like very close to having a panic attack. Yeah.
Do I notice that?
It's very
think-
clear. I
yeah,
don't think you
it'd
can
be hard
miss
to
this.
miss it.
No. Stop touching the big one.
I raise my hands up and go, it's a Willy?
Fine. Willy Gnome. Stop touching the big one.
I mean, what is this? Who's afraid of a fish?
He's like, as soon as her hands go, he's trying to breathe a little bit slower, He can start to hear things and he goes, not fish,
The
Got it.
pillar?
not pillar.
Well, help us out here, because I'm not going to play 20 questions.
The bell.
No, not it.
Mm.
No. It's just... He's
Everyone
like,
here has a past, and his is catching up rather quickly.
fuck, okay.
Great. So not
It's-
only do you bring us here, you drive us mad. That's good. That's good to know. Because we can fight a god when we're mad. That makes sense. Yeah.
All he's
Nothing-
gonna say
Nothing
is dreams, and then stand up and start walking.
I am as much a leaf on the stream here as you all are. None of this is in my control. I am simply trying to keep my world and my god alive.
But you did all the lightning and the big stuff with the dragon. I mean, if you could do that, I mean, you could probably fix Oz over here, right? Give him and the rest of us something to kind of help us out so we don't go mad.
I gave you a compass and water skins. That is what my god has given me to equip you with.
He gave me
Lily's
one
face.
night of good rest.
And look at the good it's done.
Better not do it again, then might as well just let it happen. Like I said when we stepped foot in that godforsaken room.
And Vasal turns and starts walking again now that you're standing.
He just mutters in dreams and death and follows behind her.
And
I mean,
as Vasal reaches, once again, there's a curtain of mist. And she reaches out to it, puts her hand to it, and the mist stills. And she gives you all kind of a knowing smile, because she actually has confidence you're going to follow her this time, and she's not going to be waiting too long on the other side. And steps through to a tunnel. And keeps walking.
Navi shakes her head and just follows after.
Rook will look to Willie, like, so do you have a weapon at all that you can use? Because if you need a hand axe, I got an extra one.
Willie looks up and smugly pulls out her club and like slaps it on her palm like, yes, I do.
I didn't ask if you had a toothpick. I asked if you had like a weapon. Like...
This is a club.
And what does Willie's club look like?
It's covered in glitter, and she's put little sprockets in it so that they kind of stud the club, so it's very threatening. He's like, this could do some real damage. You just haven't seen it yet.
Well, if you change your mind, I have an extra one. And then it'll continue to follow.
Ozim is following. His eyes are just looking somewhere, not really anywhere in particular, and just like really slow, but still probably walking faster than like easy pace to not really lagging behind, but just like really slow, deliberate steps, and he's just swaying a little bit and just staring straight ahead. And he's not talking.
He's a happy boy.
Can I ask Rook a question?
Sure.
Because I'm gonna. I don't know where you are in the lineup. I think you are right behind me, right?
Yeah, I'm right behind you. Yeah.
All right, so I kind of like slow so that we're walking side by side and go, so, I know you guys are like the big bad ones, but I'm really worried that our biggest one had a freak out back there. What do you think that was about? And do you think that's going to happen to the rest of us?
And he kind of looks around and goes like, anything could happen here. We literally were here for 5 minutes and a dragon appeared out of the mist. So like, I wouldn't be surprised like if all of our mental health like deteriorates to the point where we fall into madness. But all we can do is stay in the present moment and just keep moving forward. And as he looks back to actually look at Ozim now to see if she's there, or it's okay.
He's, like I said, just looking dead ahead. He's not meeting anyone's eyes. His eyes are honestly pretty glazed over. He's, if anything is happening below his eye line, he will not notice or care. And he's, like I said, just really deliberate, slow, swaying steps. But he's following you.
Willie keeps giving nervous backward glances because it's weird now. She got really used to Oz being really ornery and negative, and now that he's not, it's worrying her.
I mean, that's fair.
So as you walk through this tunnel, Visal, you can't tell if she's uncomfortable by the silence, or if, now that they're silent, she feels like she can or should talk. Continues through this rather long, winding corridor and says, "These dreaming worlds are actually linked to a real world beyond. Some of the stories you have heard are actually of heroes from the waking world. Dreams and reality cross over in strange ways. Ayuith is a powerful god, but more so in this space. They wanted to create, but they didn't like the rules of the waking gods. So they came here and began to dream. And that dream became massive. Not so long ago, a demon awoke and wanted to wake the god, caused great havoc on their world, without realizing that their world was only one of many. It was then that, after their failure, they learned that they needed to become more powerful, that they decided they had to destroy all the worlds And here we find ourselves. And she stops at the end of the tunnel and looks towards the mist, but says, take a short rest. She looks at you, Ozum. I know this has been a lot. We'll continue. And that's where we're going to end our stream tonight. And normally this happens at the end of a long rest, but because this is a good narrative point, you are all going to level up for surviving your first day on the Godplane.
Survival asterisk next to Willie's name.
Hey, any fight you walk away from eventually, right?
It was that nice rebound.
Thank you all for playing. I know this is a rather tense and strange module, but I hope you are as excited to go on this horrible little adventure as I am. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to my amazing players. Don't forget that we have a tip link if you'd like to support these wonderful people. Let's do a quick round of shout-outs at the end. Tell us who you are and where we can find you, starting with Sophie.
Hello again, so sorry for the audio issues. Once again, my name is Sophie. I am a community director in the games industry. You can find me at Subatomic Mints, and I hope you are loving my quite sad, depressed, beefy boy, Ozum, because Kay is so excited about tormenting me, and I am very much excited about seeing where this is going to go.
And you don't even know where all it's going. D'Angelo!
Hey everyone, my name is D'Angelo Murillo, and I'm a tabletop RPG performer. You can find me on social media at _D'Angelo. I fight with all my heart and soul to bring more inclusivity and diversity to our community by organizing events and doing projects that pay performers and all this sort of stuff, whatever I can do to help out. And yeah, this was a ton of fun, so I'm excited.
Cassandra!
That is my name. I will reiterate it. I am Cassandra. You can find me anywhere really under the handle Cozy Spoon. I'm obviously the new one to D&D, but I'm having a great time, and I hope that Willie will keep her little smooth brain of positivity burning bright during this horrendous campaign.
She is a breath of fresh air in this angsty bunch. And Jen!
Hi, I'm Jen. I am a content creator and the director of partnerships over at Women in Games International, and I'm also a talent manager at Tires TV. And I also love creating space for people in the gaming industry. And you can find me on Twitter at Jen Geeky or Jen Mac, the Geeky Writer, everywhere else.
And I'm Kay Purcell. I've been your DM for this evening. Or now that we know the setting of the place, I have been your mistress. I already hurt David with that one. Psychic damage for all. You can find me. You can find me at KDamnFear on Twitter. And I would also like to shout out my co-DM, Full Rubber Ducky, aka David Lee, who's been doing some amazing behind-the-scenes work and helping keep me on the rails. Thank you again to my players. Extra special thank you to our mods, David, Dane, Kato, and Emily. Couldn't have done this without you. I can't verb how much I appreciate you. Thank you to all of our viewers for spending your evening with us. I hope you'll come back next week as we continue this spooky adventure. Be kind to yourselves and be excellent to each other. Thank you all. Bye. Oh my goodness, I can't find it. There it is.